Hi, my name is Jill Kim. I started Vlado Footwear when my kids were 4 and 6. That's when I separated and got divorced and moved to LA because my parents and family lived here. So I moved over here, had no money, just my two little kids, but I was young, so I was determined to you know, do everything I can to raise them and, provide things that they need. And as soon as I landed here, I stayed with at my parents' house with my kids. And the very next day, I went to look for a job, and the first job I landed was it was a shoe store. Um, and I got hired on the spot as a bookkeeper. I started learning the shoe business. I talked to customers, and then I started looking at the displays and then the brands and the collection that we carried. And I realized that we didn't have Nike, so I researched and studied how to get the Nike dealership, and then I got the Nike dealership for the owner. Kids were lining up at the door when Nike released retro shoes, like limited edition series. But we never had enough because Nike only gave like 12 pairs per door. So we expanded the store into 4 stores. We built it, and then we were able to receive more products, more limited edition, but it was never enough. So I started going around the other stores that had, more stores, and used to buy limited edition shoes from them, like gave them 40%, higher than the cost just to have enough pairs for our customers. And they make you buy like bulk of other program shoes just to receive the limited edition. So I didn't like that. So just was telling myself, I'm going to make my own shoes someday. If you don't give it to me, I'm going to make it. So that thought kept, building up inside me. And apparently, I ran into someone from China who does the development and manufacturing. By that time, I had my own shoe store, and he offered me to do my own brand. And I did some market research, among our wholesale buyers, and I had the confidence to give it a try. The name Vlado is the name of my nephew. He was born when I started the company. My sister married a Yugoslavian, and she was having hard time conceiving the child, and then multiple miscarriages. And then after that, God granted them with the child. And when he was born, I started the company with my brother. We just did everything from scratch. I love music and artistic people, so we started networking with them, and like gave them the shoes, and they would like wear the shoes and promote it, and by word of mouth. It's hard because competing with Nike, Adidas, and Puma, I had to bring something different. So I specialized, created like materials with the material factories, and create some bold designs and put crazy materials like crocodile prints, Benjamin $100 money prints on the shoes. And back then, nobody did that. And I was like the first one. The other factor that really made our brand, our company, be exposed to the major retailers was dance. Being a mom and raising 2 kids, my priority was kids and what they like and what they were into. And they would come home like and learn this dance looking at the computer. They were doing this funny dance, but the song was funny also. To me, it was catchy. I asked them, what are you guys doing? And then they said, "Oh, mom, they're dancing on the street. Everybody's doing this. It's on the internet, YouTube." Through the network of up and coming artists, we reached out to them and then brought the new boys to our showroom, and I made an offer. This is before they got signed to a big label like Warner Brothers, and then we started making dance videos with the song, and we came up with the idea of doing like dance battle and competition, and the videos, uploading those videos, that's what really kind of got started on the YouTube. That's when I learned the power of the social media. But I didn't really understand how powerful it was until when we started launching like dance battles, doing a 50-state dance battle, picking a crew from each state. Per day, we were literally getting like thousands of videos a day from all different states. We literally went through every single videos and we picked the best crew from each state. The movement kept growing and growing, and we did the offline battle. We rented we called it Showdown LA, and we rented a convention center in Los Angeles, and the venue, we were expecting maybe like 2,500 people to show. So what we did was that we announced the audition for the 40 crew battle offline. And after we announced that audition, oh my goodness, I don't know where all these kids came, but they were like lining up around the blocks. And then at the LA Convention Center on the day, over 5,000 kids showed up. The event was blast, and so we kept doing that annually, like Showdown LA 2 and Showdown LA 3. We really got into the world of street dancers, the underworld. We had like worldwide visitors when they came to LA. They made sure these musicians and dancers visit our showroom just to check out, just to come and see us, because of through the internet. The buyers came to us asking us for the shoes because it was reversed. Usually we would go after the buyers to get the orders to be placed in those stores, but they would come to us because of the demand from the kids.
I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about what your life was like before the company started, or before you even started working in the shoe business in LA.
Before I came to LA, I lived in New York. I got married there and lived in Newark, New Jersey. My father-in-law had like supermarket in Jersey. It was a 24-hour open supermarket, and I was in early 20s. So fresh out of school, and I got to jump into the marriage, and no family, no friends there, but other than working there, because he built the apartment upstairs, and we slept upstairs and we came down and worked in the supermarket like 15 hours a day. Corner was like drug dealing spot. Working like that at such a young age, I was miserable and I had nobody, but that's how I learned how to run the small business and managing the small business. There was little kids walking in the store and they were stealing food, and I was heartbroken by that. And I asked the kids, don't steal the food. If you're hungry, come and ask me, and I'll give you the food. But stealing is not good. So I became friends with the kids in the community. And as they were growing up, I even helped them get part-time job in the store, and the community became like, part of my life. Because the store was open 24 hours, we would have like gangs from other town, coming because we were open 24 hours, and at like after 2-3 o'clock a.m. after club, they would come to our store, and these kids, they were like in front of the store blocking these, these gangs from, like, that's why I kind of work with the urban community. When I came up with the styles, it was a style catered to them. During that 10 years in marriage and the hard times, it was to a point where it was so bad that I really didn't have a will to live. But I think God was setting the path for me, because how it led to Vlado shoes and the shoe company, and working with all these people and networking with them, not having any knowledge or background of building a brand name shoes. And as we were building the Vlado Footwear company, there were so many, kids in the community. Plus, there were so many underprivileged community kids also, and also being the fact that I'm a mom raising two kids, my focus was to create the styles that's to fill the void in the fashion industry, in the market, where other brands didn't have, plus make it, with the really good quality, and make it affordable and comfortable.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about how like this sense of being in community that sort of came from your storefront in New York to creating Vlado in LA, like how that informed the values and ethics of Vlado as a company, like being sort of like community focused.
Because I had those two kids, and I really like understood what they like, and what they're into. And knowing that, making products to, to support their, what they believe in or what they like. And that's what really made it successful, because really understanding your audience, who your targeted audience are.
Can you remember the first time you ever saw someone um breakdancing or like using your shoes to dance, or just like what it was like when that first started happening?
Seeing kids like dancing in the shoes on the streets, and even other parts of the world, other countries, just seeing that, it was the most rewarding feeling I've experienced, and I was very, very thankful. We were one of the first company really who really like maximized the benefit of the free internet and free social media, the how big it was, like through the YouTube channels and Facebook. That's how we like reached all over the world.
Do you have any stories about some of like the most interesting places you've seen like Vlado products in the wild, like just like walking around and then
Yes, yes. I mean, like I had a buyer, I had a distribution in Asia and Europe by then, because the through the internet they knew, Vlado, the dads and the shoes. So when we got the place, we distributed to one of the chain stores in Japan called the Steps. And when I went to Osaka to meet with the buyer, on the way there on the street, walking the Osaka street, I saw these dancers, these kids wearing our shoes and doing the dance. And I was just so happy and, like surprised to see that. And even when I traveled to Paris, France, to meet with the buyer there, we were supposed to have a meeting with the department chain store there. And on the way there on the train, the teenagers hop on the train and they were wearing our shoes. And right before that, my daughter and I, we were on that trip together. And my daughter mentioned to me, wouldn't it be crazy if you see some people wearing your shoes here? And then right after that, on the next stop, the train stop, these kids pop, teenagers pop on the train, and they were wearing our shoes. And my daughter and I just looked at each other, and we were like, we were like speechless. So yeah, I've experienced, even the streets of LA and downtown wearing the shoes.
Wondering if you could talk a little bit about both what accomplishments you made during your time as a CEO that you're most proud of, and what were some of the biggest obstacles you faced during your time as a CEO?
Of course, funding, financing in the beginning, that was big struggle. But on the other side, the most rewarding, successful experience was, once we started going on the plus side, besides having the financial freedom, it was more like I wanted to share my story to like influence the younger generation, find a way to make it happen. And you are capable of doing what you want to do and what you want to achieve. And I am a living proof of that.
I was wondering if you had any advice for future entrepreneurs about what it means to run a business, and what knowledge you gained through your experience running Vlado that you would like to pass on.
Just got to give it all in. You got to give it 100% and maybe 110%. Having a position as a CEO running the whole company, you have to know everything that's going on, each department, everything. I realized 18 years, I never really had a day off or went on a vacation or really had time for myself. But I enjoyed what I was doing, and because I loved it so much, so it wasn't really a negative factor for me. Whether you're running a business or you just have a 9 to 5 job, if you let the challenges and obstacles get in your way, then you're not gonna go to the next level. I couldn't back down or give up because I had these 2 kids I had to raise. I had to.
I wanted to touch on sort of the creative side of running Vlado and what it was like to create a Vlado product.
A lot of inspirations and ideas came from working with the artists, because rappers, dancers, singers, graffiti artists, they're all artistic people, and they're very creative. And working with them and networking with them, I came up with designs and styles to fit their lifestyle.
What do you think the importance is of shoes and sneakers to younger people, like children and teens, like when it comes to things like their creative expression and stuff like that?
I think it's very important. Like if you see the big designers or fashionista, their shoes are really different. It stands out. So I think the shoe is not only should be comfortable, but I think it should fit into their lifestyle. Yeah, but it was a very rewarding and amazing journey. And yeah, if I had to do it all over again, I would do it. And I want to help someone else, like up and coming designer or somebody who wants to start a shoe business. I would like to help, utilize my resources and relationships and network to help them, to run the company. Because it's all this is like I can't put it in writing, or I don't have anything to show, but it's all in my head and my thoughts. So journey with not knowing, jumping into, especially nowadays, is more difficult than before, I think. But having all this infrastructure and experience, I think really it could be helpful to someone who wants to start.